the W as much as I should, and that's mainly because I'm a homebody and we don't have a team.
That's crazy because you will watch fucking Raiders, and the Raiders are not our home team.
That's true.
You'll watch all the other bad football and
I was,
shit, and they not our home team.
But the reason why I pulled towards the Raiders was because when our team got pulled in '95.
Dry, please let it the fuck go.
No, I'm just saying when the Browns got pulled in '95, the Raiders were being shown a lot on TV.
But then you just basically outed yourself because why didn't you pick a new team to watch then for the women?
Because I was heartbroken.
No. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that. Trash. Basura. I don't want to hear it.
I'm up there like, but the Raiders was always on TV. So I'm like, okay, we rock the Raiders. I wasn't rooting for Cincinnati. I wasn't rooting for the goddamn Bungles. Damn sure wasn't rooting for Pittsburgh.
Whatever.
And the Ravens can kiss my ass because y'all bitches got our Super Bowl ring.
Let it go, Jared. Let it the fuck go. Hello. How are you doing? I hope you guys enjoyed the show because Smackdown was hitting and it was moving very quickly. It moved very quickly. So let's get into it. I'm not going to hold y'all too long. Cody Rhodes opened up the show. And while he was giving his normal 1-2 punch and shit and heat, that's when we had Chad Gable come out there. Now, Chad Gable came out there with his whole American-made crew, and all of them was out there, and Chad basically said that he was a turncoat. And I said, you know what's funny? Is game recognized game, bitch. Like, Chad Gable had a lot of goddamn nerve to come out there and call Cody all them type of names, say all this ignorant shit about Cody. When he did worse to Otis, Akira, and Maxine. He was downright disrespectful to them. Now, if you're on KO's side, it's understandable. My problem with Kevin is that he does not know how to express himself effectively. If you had an issue with Cody siding with Roman to do this one thing match, then you should have voiced that opinion. Instead, you acted like a child, didn't want to talk to nobody, and then went on the attack when nobody was on your side. Randy never chose Cody over you. That never happened. You pushed Randy, hit him, and then got mad because Randy went back after you. So don't try to change the narrative of what happened between y'all when it really was you. Michael Cole was right. The problem is you. But let's get back on Chad Gable's punk ass because Cody ran his ass for filth. Cody said, okay, like, I'm really surprised that this is coming from somebody like you, seeing as how you and I are very similar. Like you forget you were Shorty G. I mean, you're talking to Stardust here. Okay. So he was like, let's not get it twisted. You and I, while we may have some similarities, we are not the same. I have a different definition of friendship and betrayal than you do, which is fair. Okay. It's very fair. And as they continued to talk, he didn't like what Cody was saying. Cody basically was like, so when you don't live up to the moniker of you being a leader of American Made and actually advancing as a leader and showing proof by being a leader, like actually winning matches and actually advancing in your life as a singles competitor, what are you going to do? Blame Brutus? Attack Brutus? Are you going to do the same thing with Ivy, who's arguably one of the best aspects of the women's division, arguably a brand new possible champion in the future champion in Ivy now? Are you going to blame her for your failures and shortcomings, or are you going to do the same thing to Julius? And then, Chad got all in his feelings, hollering and screaming, talking about enough. You know what? If I didn't have on this good suit, I'd kick your ass. I'm like, you've worn that suit about 3 or 4 times before. So it's not that good of a suit, if I'm being honest with you. So you could have just wrestled him in the suit, to be fair. I mean, you would have been all right. And Cody was like, you said what? You said you're going to do what? Did you say you was going to kick my ass? Is that what you said? He was like, okay. No, I'm not going to fight you in your suit. I'm going to let you go in the back and you could talk to Nick. Since you came here to talk to Nick about the trade portal, which I'll get to in a second. Since you came here to talk to nigga about the trade portal and you came out here running your mouth, you can go back there and put your motherfucking shoes on, nigga. Put your shoes on, nigga. You feel me? And we could battle this out tonight. Okay? So the match was set. Nick Aldis made the match, and it was Cody Rhodes versus Chad Gable, which I'll get to that in a minute. First match of the night, official match of the night, was the Women's United States Championship match. And who is playing now?
Boise State UNLV, the Mountain West Conference Championship.
It looked like Ohio State. That's why I was kind of looking like, what is going on? Why are they uniforms like that? It's UNLV, isn't it?
The University of Las Vegas.
Boise State. Anyway, this match was fun. I will say they booked Elektra Lopez to be very strong in this match. She was doing a little too much crowd work for me. In my opinion, her focus should have been on the match. But she was doing too much for me. The overly, I gotta be sexy, the pushing of the camera, like you looking at me too much. Girl, we're not. We're not. Lola, get your ass the fuck up on somewhere. Tiffany Stratton had a good showing because they was in Minneapolis. This is her hometown. And everybody, it was almost like they didn't know she was from Minneapolis because when she first came out there, the crowd was a little indifferent. Right. But then when they heard her announce that she was from Minneapolis.
Who, Ivy?
No, Tiffany.
Oh.
When they heard her announce that, then the crowd went on the uproar for her. You know.
Minnesota.
I didn't know that either, but whatever. She's from a city in Minnesota. I will say that. Anyways, and then when Naomi came out,
that's crazy. Y'all did an 87-yard run all the way to the 2
and lost it.
Got his leg game, got pushed back 5 yards and could not score.
Trash.
And turned the ball over on down.
That's crazy. Anyways, Naomi came out there showing as well, but ultimately it was because of Candice LeRae's interference, which allowed Tiffany to get the W in this match because that took out Naomi. Tiffany was able to do her prettiest moonsault, and that was it. I don't like the finish of this match. If Naomi was going to lose, my best opinion would be to give Elektra the W and let her advance in this match. Tiffany Stratton don't need it. Given the fact that Tiffany has an opportunity already handed to her, she's walking around holding it. She didn't need to win in this tournament. She had nothing else that she needed to go for. She has a golden opportunity for any championship that she wants. She doesn't have to go through the channels. And I don't like when you champion and got the motherfucking money in the bank.
Right, that's crazy.
Because that don't make no sense to me.
Crazy work.
So she don't even need to be competing for it, let alone winning opportunities to compete for a title. She should have been excommunicated from that immediately. That's just my point. But her ass won, and she advanced in the tournament. So let me find a graphic for y'all because it's going to be Tiffany Stratton and Mi Chen in the semifinals next week for the United States Championship for the women, because next week is when they actually have the big match. Okay? That's when they had a big match next week, honey. Let me see. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all about some stuff that happened to the podcast and everything that went down after we get done with this this review of Smackdown. So hold tight, y'all. Wanted to make sure I got the damn graphic because I thought I picked it up, but I did not. Let me pick up some of this other stuff. So I hope everybody had a good day. I saw that Kayla was in the comments, Jonelle, and Aaliyah's over there. So appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Oh my God. If Ridge Holland loses this, wins this match on Monday, tomorrow, I'm gonna be pissed the fuck off. All right. So let's talk about some stuff that happened that was unexpected. Okay. Dang. Hello. That don't make no kind of sense. I didn't like the fact that she won. I didn't like it. To this day, I'm not okay. I didn't have a problem with her competing because I was just under the assumption that she wasn't gonna win. So I was just like, why did they give it to her when she has a fucking briefcase? Like, I don't care if she's gonna beat Meechin or not. It doesn't matter to me. The point is, you took away something that could have been given to Elektra or Naomi, and you could have possibly had a really good matchup, especially with Elektra. Elektra is very underrated. A lot of people do not give Elektra her props. And while I may joke and make fun, I understand the dynamic. Elektra is a very solid wrestler. She hasn't been given many opportunities. And so you give it to somebody who already has one. She's fucking holding it in her hands. This is why I say a lot of times Triple H make questionable decisions. You knew that you were going to Minneapolis. You knew you were going to Minnesota to do this tournament. If you wanted her to get a W, she should have had a singles match. A singles match. She shouldn't have even been considered in the tournament if she was going to be the hometown girl and needed a win. You didn't have to put her in the tournament at all. You could have left her slot open and given it to Candice, but Candice already had an opportunity, okay? You could have gave it to anybody, okay? And since we doing this fucking trade port, you could have let one of them girls from Raw. Sonya ass been crying for the last, what, 3 days? You could have ported her ass over and had her compete in the damn tournament if you was going to do all of this shit. Because this was unnecessary. This is unnecessary. Not me just realizing we're being fed PLE with PLE. Baby, we just had a PLE this last Saturday. This week is deadline, which is this Saturday. And then next Saturday is Saturday Night Main Event. And that's really a TV special. It's not a PLE, but you get it. Yes, like Elektra is a very, very solid wrestler. And that's why I'm not okay. That's why I'm not okay with it. I really would have wished, and while the match itself was great, I have no issues with the match. Match was awesome. The girls always pull out. And as much shit as I give Tiffany, I've never said that the girl wasn't good at what she does once she got herself better. Because there was a time where she was struggle bus city. You feel me? But they kept her ass on TV for whatever reason. I would have pulled her from TV immediately. That's just me. But she was struggle bus city, honey. Okay. So when she improved and she was better, I never said another bad thing about her wrestling ever. Anything that I talk about with Tiffany has to do with character and kayfabe. That is it. That's all. Same thing goes for Elektra. I may give Elektra a lot of shit, but that girl can wrestle. She's one of the best wrestlers on the roster, and she is not used to her potential. Okay, she has always been better than Tiffany and B-Fab, and I love B-Fab to death. But Elektra was light years ahead of both of them, and she was not used to her full potential. And if we're being fair, Elektra could have easily been NXT champion when she was in NXT. I'm just saying. And then the way you could use Sonya and the Pussycat Dolls versus Nia of Smackdown. I mean, period. Before that, Don said low-key Sonya could have literally took out Tiffany. But that's what I'm saying. You got Raw superstars running around in the back. You know what I'm saying? And you could have used that to make it look like it was Candice who took her out. But Candice came out there to help her win. Yeah. Meanwhile, Tiffany let you lose.
Right.
She let you lose. That's crazy as hell. Could never have been me. Not the He Knights. The Nia of Smackdown and the He Knights. Don be saying some shit. When I finally get my stuff situated on my because I did do commentary today. It's gonna be uploaded later on tonight. Because I was up here with my brother, and when I tell y'all he was tripping, okay. And that could also start a plot between Candace, Knight, and Tip. Exactly. You see what I'm saying? It's funny how people tell like Mello and Gable want to add their unwanted, most importantly, unneeded 2 cents to Cody being a bad friend when they turned and treated their friends like absolute dog shit. I think that was kind of the point. Like those people that are speaking out now are ones who actually did turn on their friends and did it for the most selfish of reasons. That's why they're kind of trying to lend to this credibility of Kevin Owens, because Kevin Owens has a history of turning on his friends. And this is why it's so ironic, because bitch, you were doing it. You've done it to everybody that you've been around. The only difference is they didn't take your ass out. Had it been me, I'd have struck first because I already know where you coming on. I already know what time you on. Okay, I'd have took your ass out. I'd have pulled a Bailey on you. Because if Bailey didn't take out Sasha Banks, Sasha damn sure would have took out Bailey. Okay? And we all know it. We all know it because we've all seen it. She got the history. Okay? It's nothing new. Okay? And Kevin definitely got a history of taking out his friends. So, tried it. She would have made a smarter decision. That's all I'm saying, Don. As long as y'all understand where I'm coming from in terms of that match. And like I said, don't get me wrong. I am not saying the match was bad in any way, shape, or form. I'm not complaining about the match. The only thing I didn't like was the finish of the match. There was no need for Candace to come out there. There just wasn't. And quite frankly, it always lends to the credibility that Tiffany can't win matches on her own when we all know that she is beyond capable of doing so. So I don't like that either. It also doesn't, it lends to Nia's title reign as well. A lot of people want to forget and make it seem like Nia's just overly dominant as a champion. That's not fucking true. That bitch has not won a single titles match without the help of Candace or Tiffany. You name me one match that was a title match that she's been in that she's actually won without the assistance of Tiffany Stratton or Candice LeRae at some point. You cannot name one because there isn't one. I don't like the idea of it. Is Nia a dominant wrestler? Of course. Can she be a dominant champion? Yes. Is she one? No. Based off of the track record of what we've seen, that's not true. But that's not the same thing for Tiffany. Tiffany has wins where she's actually won clean over Naomi, okay, and other superstars. She has won clean matches where there was no interference on her behalf. So it's not like it's not possible. And then again, you got somebody like Elektra who all she needs is the opportunity. And it was proven today in the ring today. Even with Naomi having some minor botches in the match, which was just normal wear and tear. You can't necessarily get balanced correctly. You are a little off. Okay, cool. Love that. You know what I'm saying? Shit happens. But in this case, nah. Tiffany shouldn't have won the match. And I stand by that. And everybody that's listening to this later on in the playback, some of y'all might not like that shit. I don't care. I really don't. He said, my iPad coming soon, so I'll be doing some commentary too. I can't. A lot of people say Tiffany did not need to win this match because she didn't. She didn't. She already had an opportunity. She's walking around holding it. Because she was thinking about it for a while, for a year. She was. She was. Y'all know Sasha would have turned on that girl the moment she had the opportunity. Turned right on her. Now look, Solo and them was there. They come in, and instead of them just being in the match, just coming out there and doing their thug thizzle, child, they came out there mad like little kids. They attacked Apollo Crews, beat him up, and that was just them coming into the damn arena. That wasn't even them wrestling or anything. It was just them coming into the arena. They attacked Apollo, beat him up, beat up the security, beat up the guys trying to, get them in. Like, they beat up everybody. It was so unnecessary. I was sitting here like, are y'all really this mad that y'all lost a match? Like, is you serious? Like, they're really that mad. So they came out to the ring when LA Knight was confronting Shinsuke Nakamura. They came to the ring, beat the hell out of Andrade, beat up LA Knight, but Shinsuke wasn't having that shit. Shinsuke had said, I will miss every one of you hoes. You don't want to fuck with me. And Solo backed off of Shinsuke, and they beat the brakes off of Andrade and LA Knight. And essentially what they said is we ain't going nowhere. Y'all keep taking me for a joke. And y'all think because I done lost 2 men in my crew that I'm somehow weak now. But I'm not weak. I'm even more dangerous with just my right-hand man and Tama. I'm still just as dangerous, and I'm still your tribal chief. That's how he put it. Now, Roman was not there, obviously. He was not there. And there was no Jimmy, because Jimmy's out. Bronson Reed broke his foot. Tama Tonga tore his pectoral muscle. Okay, so he's out. All right. Charlotte was a mess. Now in the bike, Chelsea and Piper was giving Bianca a lot of bullshit, teasing her because she lost her tag team partner, teasing her because she was in War Games and was beat up. And it was just like, and you lost the United States Championship tournament mainly because you was too busy running after your friend. You should have stayed focused, giving Bianca all types of blues. They know she taped up. So Bianca, she was like, you can't really do nothing because you're injured. And Bianca punched the girl in the face, and Piper lightly tapped the girl in her ribs while Piper threw her up against the wall. So Bianca went to Nick and said, I want a match with Piper. Okay? I want a match with Piper because me and her got some shit we got to work out. Okay? So Piper and Bianca went at it. They had their match. It was a good match. It was a classic match. There are reasons why I prefer Piper to Nia, and it's not no Nia shade. It is because Piper is just a cleaner wrestler than Nia Jax is. She sells better when she needs to sell like she's supposed to. Nia doesn't. And while Nia has improved and she's much better than she was prior to her coming back, her in the and right now Piper is the better wrestler overall. She's just cleaner, she's faster, she's more agile, she's just much more of an athlete than Nia is. She is a better wrestler due to her size, and quite frankly, I would have loved if Piper would have had the opportunity to be in the limelight the way that Nia is, because I just feel like she was served better. Her match quality is better. She just gives better in terms of being a big woman and wrestling in that ring.
They're not using her like they used her in NXT UK.
No. She was rude, and she was good. She was really, really good. I loved her, and I still love her. I think she's amazing. So here's the thing. Hold on a second, y'all. Let me see. I got a comment. There's a big one. Rickster. Hello, Rickster. How are you? Good evening. I'm new to your channel. Welcome. I hope you subscribe, Rickster, because we have a good time over here. Okay. And we talk. And we love to talk. He said, I just want to say that you were right. Tiffany shouldn't be in the match. The tournament should have been given to new women that didn't get a chance, like Sonya Deville. Good evening. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a Sonya Deville fan like that, but I do see, I'm not mad at Sonya for saying she wanted to be in the tournament. I'm just mad that she's on the internet, mad at Dakota for being in the tournament and advancing in the tournament, but she ain't mad at her homegirl for losing. Her homegirl lost. And I'm like, if you're going to be mad, place your blame or anger at the right people. Dakota didn't do nothing. If you wanted to be in a tournament, you should have made your voice heard with Adam. Adam's the one who set up the tournament. You feel what I'm saying? And if you're going to be upset, then place the blame where it needs to be placed. Like, I'll give you an example. Bronson Reed wasn't in the opportunity to gain a title shot at the Intercontinental Championship. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't in it. So when Bronson found out, Bronson got mad. But Bronson didn't go after the people in the tournament. Bronson went after Adam because he was the one who booked it. He was the one who set it up. And he was the one who was overlooking him. So when Bronson Reed started taking people out, you feel me? Adam didn't have no choice but to see him. But see, Adam's biggest problem is he rewards that type of behavior. And Bronson Reed knew that. Instead of Sonya using that big ass cranium she got and voicing her frustrations at the people that actually deserve the frustration, I wouldn't have a problem with it per se, because she is absolutely right. She's right. She did deserve an opportunity at being in the tournament. If we're being fair, I would have preferred Sonya be in the tournament over Katana. Katana's ass shouldn't have been in the tournament at all. At all. And given the fact that they got this portal shit happening and they knew it was going to happen, what they should have done is put Lash Legend in this motherfucking tournament, and they should have put Sonya in there and completely removed Kaden and Katana. It's no shade to neither one of them, but let's keep it fucking real. They're not winning any singles titles anytime soon. They're just not. They're just not. Rickson said, I just subscribed to your channel. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, love. I love that for me, and I love that for you. Thank y'all. Now, we do love that. We do love it. He said, I respect your statement. You see what I'm saying? I respect your statement. You're definitely right. Thank you. Now, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm not always right. I be loud and wrong sometimes. I do. I be loud and wrong sometimes. But I'm a woman and I can admit when I'm wrong. I don't like it. It don't taste good when I say it, but I can admit it. Okay? I don't like it. The longer you stick around, the more you'll see that I am very stubborn. I am very hard-headed. But I definitely don't like admitting when I'm wrong. According to Dawn and everybody else, that's a Sagittarius in me. But I don't know. I don't know. Okay, so we're going to move on before we go on a whole tirade and rant in wrestling, child. Because, child, I could talk all day. Shut up, Don. Anyway, so we're going to move on because let's talk about the tag team controversy, okay? The tag team champions were supposed to be defending their titles against the Street Profits today. And BFAB been eating people up online for the last 2 weeks. I wish they would get that lady the microphone and let her tear some shit up, because she's been tearing people up, okay? But today, the Street Profits did not get their opportunity. And the reason why that is because they got attacked. Take a guess as to who attacked them. Just a wild guess. In the comments, I'll give y'all 30 seconds. If you haven't watched Smackdown and you just, you don't really have a clear assessment of who did it, I'm going to give y'all 30 seconds and y'all can tell me who y'all think attacked the Street Profits before their match with Motor City Machine Guns today. Let me see y'all answers. Let me see. Okay, let me see what Richter said first. He said, I feel you. I'm not always right either, but I always respect people that have a different opinion about life, period. And that's all I ask, is that we have mutual respect for each other, and we definitely do. So that part, you and I will get along just fine, babes. Tampa, you're half right. You're half right, Donnie. You're half right. Wait, was it Johnny too? You are correct. They did it together. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Pirate Yakuza.
Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii.
That game should never be sold anywhere.
It's gonna sell because it's the people who made the Yakuza games, and the Yakuza games sell like hotcakes.
That's gross. It's such a cultural appropriating gross. Anyway, yes, it was DIY. They attacked the Street Profits. Rickster is absolutely correct. It was DIY. He said DIY attacked the Street Profits as a team. Probably Johnny wanted to talk to the Street Profits, pretending to be a good guy, and then Tommaso attacked them from behind. That's my theory. It's possible, Rickster, but I honestly think that they attacked them together from behind. And nobody saw it. I think they just attacked them together. Anyways, at first I thought it was Ciampa because he's been acting like a fucking psycho. But as a plot twist, I thought it was Gargano, and I was right. And I love being right. Girl, we could tell. We can tell. But yes, it was Gargano and Ciampa. And essentially what they did was they made it seem like they were at odds with each other. And Johnny was just trying to be a good friend to Alex Shelley and to Chris Sabin. And so they decided to give the tag team champs, the former tag team champions in Ciampa and Gargano, another shot at the titles due to the Street Profits going down and Ciampa and Gargano obviously being there waiting in the wings. And then during this match, Ciampa distracted the referee. Gargano low blowed Chris Sabin, and they was able to pick up the win. And Alex Shelley was dumbfounded, and so was Chris Sabin. Was it a good turncoat swerve? Sure. I'll give them that. But it was kind of something that was inevitable. Johnny Gargano had been a face for quite some time, as has Johnny Gargano. Tommaso Ciampa, and it wasn't working. Them being faces. Ciampa wasn't getting over as a face. He needed to be a heel in order for it to work. That is exactly what happened over in NXT when he and Gargano turned on each other, more specifically Ciampa turning on Gargano. That's how Ciampa was able to get over as Blackheart, and he was able to do what he was able to do, become multiple time NXT champion. And he's been a face ever since he got back. So him turning doesn't really bother me so much. It doesn't bother me that Gargano turned either. He wasn't getting over as well as he could have as a face character. And the only other shot they had was to turn DIY heel. And as far as I'm concerned, do whatever the fuck you want to do. But y'all got to do something instead of just having the Street Profits be the one to suffer at the hands of everybody else. Quite frankly, DIY having those titles, if they don't drop them to the Street Profits at Royal Rumble, we're going to have a fucking problem, Kratos. I'm telling you right now. Street Profits haven't had the titles in it's about to be 4 years, right? DIY has had the championships twice in 1 fucking year. The Motor City Machine Guns have been champions. First time they get to the E. Champs. You gotta make this right. Uncle Trip, I don't know what the fuck you doing back there. Don't give a damn. Don't give a damn. Street Profits need to be champion in 2025. I don't care if it's for 2 months. I don't give a shit. Give them the titles. If you can make it so Motor City Machine Guns can be champions for 42 days and DIY can be champions twice in a year, then you can give them the fucking titles at Royal Rumble. I don't want to hear nothing about the title don't need to change hands that many times. I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear that shit. I really don't. Woo, child. Okay. Got a lot of comments. I love comments. Thank y'all for commenting. John. Hello, John. How are you? He said, question for you. Who is this gonna stop the bloodline? You know, babes, I don't know. I don't know at this point. If we're being fair in terms of bloodline, I the bloodline will crumble on its own. Roman and Solo are gonna fight it out. What I think should happen or should have happened, Roman was inside the cage at Survivor Series, but he didn't take as much damage as everybody else. Roman was heavily protected, which is why he's always the last one to enter the match, right? I mean, usually whoever's last is like heavily protected in that match. And he definitely was, with the exception of Rhea, because Rhea took a lot of damage. I mean, getting hit by a bat is a lot. I don't give a fuck who you are. Okay. So my assumption would have been that they would have had Roman at Saturday Night Main Event, seeing as how this is the first one. And it's a really big TV special that's coming on TV. I know NBC is going to want him on that show, but they haven't made the match yet. So I'm really confused. And WWE is, for here and lately, they have been making matches later and later and later in the card. Almost the night before, they're still booking matches. And I understand that they want to, get people to watch the show. They're dragging out the storylines to the last hour, but they're not booking these matches so that they're already set and ready to go. Solo and Roman should be competing in a one-on-one match, and all members of both bloodlines should be banned from ringside at this match. Now, if they don't do this at Saturday Night Main Event, then more than likely they will have them compete at Royal Rumble, because Roman is a big marquee guy. He probably wants this match to be on at Royal Rumble. Okay. And fair enough for that. But at the same time, his ass needs to be there. I don't know in what capacity, but he needs to be there. Even if it's just a little brawl breakout between the new bloodline and the old bloodline, do whatever makes you happy. You know what I'm saying? But his ass needs to be there. And the only way they're going to take them down is Roman has to be the one to do it. He has to be. And then I guess they'll switch off once, if CM Punk wins the championship at some point, maybe they'll switch off and have Roman go after Punk. I don't know. I can't tell you. But I'm hoping, but it's a good thing that we don't know which way things are going, because that just makes things much more fun. It makes it more lively. It makes you kind of wonder what direction they could go in, because they have so many top stars now that they could easily run this with anybody that's at the top right now. You got Seth, who still has beef with Roman. He could be the one to go up against Roman. You've got Seth and Cody. They still have sort of unfinished business if they decide to revisit that. Seth and The Rock. You've got Rock and Seth, Rock and Roman. You've got Rock and Cody for sure. Okay. And then you got CM Punk waiting in the wing, King of Chaos. You got so much happening and so many people that could be entered into this bullshit. You've got Gunther. You've got Damian Priest waiting out there. Finn is wreaking havoc with the title right now. Okay. You got Jey Uso, who could easily be moved into title contingency with the momentum and the fame he has right now. You've got Kevin Owens over there on Smackdown. Randy's still there when he gets back. There are so many major megastars on the roster right now. Any combination of any of them is a marquee billing match and will still work. Solo, in my opinion, is a mid-card style guy. I wouldn't put him in the main event picture in any capacity, because the implosion of his bloodline has to happen at some point. There's no way he's going to last 4 years the way Roman did, because his crew's not going to be that undying to him. At some point, they're gonna want things for themselves instead of taking orders from somebody who can't maintain himself at the top. So you got a lot of storylines going on and a lot of drama happening in the WWE across both brands. We haven't even gotten to NXT yet. Okay. So while they have all these top guys running, they also have a really strong budding mid-card division. So as far as the bloodline is concerned, like there's a lot of ways it could go. I just don't know which avenue Triple H is going to take. So, and like I said, it's a good thing because it's fun to not know where we're headed. We could just watch it and enjoy and actually relax and not make up the scenarios because we don't need to. They've done the work for us in a good way this time. You know what I'm saying? I hope I answered your question. I know I'm long-winded. I'm sorry for that. There's been a lot of attacking from behind lately, girl. Apparently, that's the best way to get them. They don't know how to attack. They don't know how to get you from the front, girl. Sorry, DeAndre. I don't mean to call you girl, but I just talk like that. Okay, I just want to let you know that I talk like that. Champ is champion once again. But for the first time, DIY are both heels. They were heels by themselves at NXT. So let's see how it goes on SmackDown. Well, I'm not a heel girl. And as long as you continue to watch my channel, you will understand. I can respect a heel when the heel turn is necessary. But what I really don't like is you playing in my face. And Johnny Gargano is known for playing in somebody's face. And I don't like that. I started to see, I think about a week or two ago, that something was off about him and Ciampa. I just didn't like it. And I was just like, something about this stank. Something about this stank. I'm going to keep watching though. And they did exactly what I thought they were going to do. And like I said, they were not getting over as face champions. So them being heels, it seems like it works out better in their favor, which love that for them. But since DIY specifically, Gargano is now a heel, he is going to be insufferable as fuck with Candice by his side. Who says Candice going to be by his side? I mean, Candice looked like she's sniffing Nia Jax's ass every day, which that's a conundrum. But anyways, I think the Street Profits should get the Raw Tag Team titles. SmackDown got too much star power, especially with the MCMG. At least they would have a chance at Raw because they're not doing anything. I don't know about that. I disagree. It makes it sound like Street Profits are not a part of that star power, and they definitely are. They are 3-time tag team champions. They're one of the best athletically gifted tag teams in the division, and not to mention individually, both of them have personality that outshines both Gargano and Ciampa on any given day. If they gave the Street Profits the same momentum and opportunity that they gave the DIY, because DIY is getting it because they're one of Triple H's favorites. You feel what I'm saying? If they gave them that same respect, the Street Profits would be just as damn, Jared. The Street Profits would be just as hated as DIY is. They have an opportunity. They need the opportunity to be able to do what we know they can do. It's not fair to me, and they're both of them are stars individually and as wrestlers. And the proof is in the pudding. Street Profits were over. DIY wasn't over on the main roster. I don't care what you're talking about. Ciampa wasn't over, and Gargano barely was getting over. Barely. And that was with Triple H's booking and blessing. Meanwhile, Street Profits are getting over organically, just by existing. I'm just saying. Star power is measured in how you move and how you use it. Gargano and Ciampa, while I know that they can be stars, they have to build a rapport with the main roster fans in order for them to know that they are stars. That's the difference. Roman versus Solo in tribal combat, that would be a great match. I'm sorry for commenting so much. I don't mind it. Because sometimes my regulars don't comment at all. So they don't comment at all. So it's fine. I am 100% fine with that. We love the conversation. Exactly. Thank you, William, because I don't normally get this. So I'm in love with this. We could use a revamp with the tag titles on Raw. I don't mind it, but I don't think they should be moved because they don't have star power. I think that they do have star power. Solo just got in the main roster last year. After his new bloodline is done, he needs to focus on getting mid-card titles first before he goes to the main title. That's what I was saying. Because while Solo is a plausible threat, he's never going to be a champion, especially with Cody Rhodes holding that world championship right now. He's never going to be champion. I don't care what any of you say. unless Triple H does something drastic and puts that title on Solo, which I don't think he will, he's not going to get that title as long as Cody is champion. And as long as his big cousin Roman is lurking around, it's not happening. It's not happening, babe. The Judgment Day just needs the title snatched from them immediately. And you know what, Rickster? I have to apologize because with the portal happening, it is possible for them to go over to Raw and use the portal and go over to Raw and challenge at Saturday Night Main Event for the tag team titles. All of that's very possible. And with Bianca still being tag team champion, they haven't pulled the titles off of them. It's very possible that Bianca could be shifted over to Raw for a little while. All of that is very possible, which I wouldn't mind because you could get Bianca versus Rhea Ripley and move this shit from Raquel, Liv, and Rhea and really have some fun with Bianca and Rhea. But anyways, they got the tag team titles back. I hope they lose them at Royal Rumble. I really do. Now, Kevin was booked for an interview, but he refused to come into the venue specifically because he felt as though every time he comes into the venue, they tell him he can't come or he's not allowed in the venue this week, and he's tired of that. And it's all because they're protecting their precious Cody Rhodes. That's not true. The reason why he's not allowed in the venues is because he used an illegal move on Randy Orton and damn near killed him. So you're a liability at best. I wouldn't let you in my venues either. Okay. So Michael had to go outside in the cold, mind you. It's in Minnesota. Dead of winter. Michael ain't have on no coat, and he went outside. Couldn't have been me. I would have been sitting at the desk doing my interview via satellite. Hello, Kevin, are you there? Okay, great. I'm going to ask you a few questions. If you want to answer them, please do. If not, it's okay. We can move on, or you can not get these answers. You cannot have your say so. Totally up to you, babe. Okay, because I'm all right with you not having the opportunity to answer your questions. I'm totally okay with that. The people made me ask you this. They made me interview your ass. I didn't want to. I didn't want to interview you. They made me do it. That's how I would be. But he took his ass out there. He a good journalist. He much better than me because I would not have went out there because it's cold outside. Okay? It is freezing. I live in Ohio and it was, what was it yesterday? The temperature dropped and it was like 28 degrees outside.
26.
Then it dropped to 26. It's cold, freezing. And if you got rickety bones, bitch, Michael ass is old. Child, Michael went out there and he said, Kevin, can we please do this inside? Kevin said, no, get in the car. I wouldn't have gotten in the car. I don't trust a motherfucker who I can't control in a car. I'm sitting in the car with you. I can't control you. I don't like that. I'm at a disadvantage in your car. And you could just pop off and hit me in my face. You feel what I'm saying? I don't like that. But he got his ass in the car. And Kevin started going off and talking about some, Kevin said, Michael said, we could do this inside. I had a nice cushy place. It was warm in there, first of all. And I'm a completely unbiased journalist. I'm not going to take sides. I just want you to tell your side. He said, you're unbiased. You're unbiased. He said, you are Kevin. You are Cody Rhodes' #1 fan. You're out there cheering Cody all the time. And Michael was like, Kevin, I've known you 10, 12 years. I have always been your friend. He said, even when you were doing despicable things, I was still on your side. I have still been your friend. He said, no, you've never been my friend. You never were my friend. And he said, if I hadn't known what I knew now, I probably wouldn't have been your friend either. And so Michael just shut up. Michael just shut up and let Kevin go on his rant. He was like, you don't have any friends, so you don't know what it's like to be betrayed. You don't know what it's like for friends to leave you. And it's so ironic that he is having this temper tantrum as a grown fucking man right now because Sami Zayn, who else did he attack? John Cena, Chris Jericho. So many people that he was close to, that he was riding with, that he disrespected and respected. Sammy is the main one. Sammy is the main one that really, Sammy don't owe Kevin shit. If we're being fair, he don't owe him shit. Because Kevin is the one who broke their bond the first time. Kevin's the one who did it. So, child, Kevin started going on his rant, going off, going back and forth. And after Michael told him he needed to look in the mirror because he was the problem, he said, "You are trying to place all of this bullshit onto Cody's shoulders, but you don't have these issues with Jay Uso or Jimmy Uso or Sami Zayn." And Kevin said it very plainly: "I will deal with Sami later," which I told y'all that he's gonna go down the list. It's just gonna be a domino effect. He's gonna take out everybody who he believes betrayed him until he by himself again. Because he asked Michael, he said, "You sat there at that desk, you watched that man torture me for 5 years. You know what he did." And to Kevin's credit, he isn't wrong. He isn't wrong about his frustrations. My problem with Kevin is that Kevin doesn't know how to talk to people. If you had a problem with what Cody was doing, why didn't you take that shit up with Cody? Instead of walking around with a fucking attitude like a baby for weeks and weeks on end, and then exploding onto Cody, and not only Cody, but also Randy Orton. Like, you took all your anger and frustration out on them, when the real problem is you're mad that you didn't get to be the one to beat Roman Reigns. You're mad that you didn't get to be the one to be the champion to rub it in Roman Reigns' face, and you're mad that you're not the guy, and that they've now put all their faith and trust in Cody, and you don't like that shit. Which you could have just said that. You could have just said that, babe. If you had to went about this in a different way and you told Cody straight up how you felt, and Cody was like, "I'm not doing this to hurt you. This isn't about you. But if I don't do this with Solo, he's only going to continue to attack me, you, and everybody else. And Roman is his cousin. He's the only one who's going to be able to take him down." Kevin could have agreed or disagreed. I probably would have been like, "Nah, Cody," because you knew how he felt and you decided that his feelings were not valid. Which, in hindsight, he's right for that. You know what I'm saying? He's right to feel that way. But he doesn't have to go on a tirade attacking people because his heart is broken. It's like being a girlfriend in a relationship and the dude decides he doesn't want to be with you no more. So you start stalking him. You the girlfriend, and you start stalking him. You start keying his car, yelling at him, talking about, "If you don't be with me, I'm gonna beat you." You know what I'm saying? That's petty bullshit. That's ignorant. Then he kicked Michael out. He kicked Michael out the car, y'all. Kicked that man out the car, called him and made him come back to the car only to roll up the window, child. A mess. A mess. It was funny as hell, though. I'm not gonna lie. It was funny as hell. It was funny. I'll get to Kayla comment in a second because I haven't got to the Carmelo stuff yet. I hope the Street Profits become champions at the Royal Rumble next year. So do I, honestly. I heard from a lot of people that this is the first car interview in this company. Well, it's first time for everything. I live in NYC. It was snowing flurries this week. And after that, it went down to 28 degrees. It was crazy. Facts. I love Kevin's story. He right about some of the things, but he's blaming on some of the wrong people. And because of that, people have gotten hurt in the process. Exactly. Like I said, he doesn't have to, there's no reason for him to feel bad about how he feels, because all of us can understand, because we did watch Roman torture him for 5 years almost. We did watch that. But Kevin also has to take some personal responsibility, because even when he failed at trying to take him down, he kept going after Roman. He kept going. He would never stop. So you kind of invoked a lot of your pain and frustration. And while I was right there with you, we all were there with you. At the same time, game got to recognize game, right? And I'm not saying that he's responsible for him getting beat up, but he is responsible for causing his own demise in a lot of situations. However, he is valid to feel how he feels about Cody. He just didn't go about it the right way. And then him acting out like this in this violent, just very much like a toxic girlfriend, like a toxic ex-girlfriend, is how he's acting and reacting. It just gives me the ick. Right, like I understand KO's point of view, but it's the way he went about it. Exactly. His critical thinking is right. He just misplaces his anger. Exactly. I'm dead at the girlfriend analogy. You get, but you know it's true. That's why you're laughing, because it fits and it's the truth. It's true. I couldn't have explained it in a different way, because it just is what it is. All right. So now that I think we got that out the way, let me double check. I think I covered everything. I don't think I missed anything. I already talked about Bianca's match with Piper, which was a beautiful match. It was an amazing match. Now let's talk about Nick Aldis, because we saw Nick a couple times today. He was trying to figure out who attacked the Street Profits. And then Carmelo Hayes was all in his feelings because it was a bunch of Raw folk walking around in in SmackDown territory. And he was like, hey, what the fuck you doing? And why am I not being considered? Like, you got time for all these Raw people? Because Gunther was there talking to Nick Aldis. And he was like, you talking to all these people for Raw, but you're not considering your number one draft pick, me? And Nick was like, I might just have to go to Raw and go talk to Adam. Nick was like, you know what? I might consider it. I might just ship your ass off to Raw so you could be Adam Pearce's headache instead of mine. And I will do nothing but, drink a Coke and a smile to it, because, bitch, you are working on my last nerve. But you know what? Don't worry, because next week I got somebody for you, for sure. And he was like, bet, bet. So, of course, he was talking to nobody. Like, y'all see that? Y'all see how this how you get stuff done around here? Turn around and Nick Aldis was gone in his office. He was all by his lonesome. So, child, next week is look like we're gonna have some type of surprise next week with somebody he gonna be fighting. Don't know who it is. I hope it's somebody that we really, haven't seen in a while and they're making their comeback. I don't know who that could be, but I'm very interested in who they got coming into SmackDown to go up against Carmelo, or who they're going to pick for Carmelo to go up against some next week. Now, to round this out, the tournament is still happening, but these are the semifinals. Michin will face off against Tiffany Stratton next Friday. Bailey will face off against Chelsea next Friday. And those two will then fight next Saturday at Saturday Night Main Event. Okay. So the final match of the night was between Chad Gable and Cody Rhodes. I got to tell y'all, the matches on this card for SmackDown were absolutely stellar. All of them. All of the matches were amazing. Everybody performed exceptionally well. Favorite matches of the night are definitely Piper and Bianca. They always pull out all the stops in their matches. They always do extremely well in their matches. I highly recommend you watch the highlights or a recap of that match specifically. And again, after I get off live, I'm going to post my commentary and I'll have the clips up there for y'all to see. But this match was really, really good. Chad Gable is a master at wrestling. He always has been and he always will be. I may give Chad Gable a lot of flack, but again, as a wrestler, solid. He's one of the top wrestlers in the East, specifically technical style wrestling. Chad Gable is that guy. Okay. And he put Cody in a clinic. Cody did not have a moment to breathe. He was worse on Cody than Gunther was on Chad Gable. It was nasty. This match was ugly, but it was a good one. Cody kept getting put through the ringer. Everything he did, Gable had a counter for it. He was putting him in that ankle lock, messed up his knee. That ankle lock had his foot torqued. He got so mad at Cody being able to get his shit off and do what he was doing. He ripped off the man's boot so he can get a good twist on his ankle. He was beating the brakes off of Cody. Cody was able to get that Cody cutter off and take out Chad Gable with a I can't think of his other signature move, but he has another one that he does. Crossroads, that's what it was. He did the crossroads, game over for Chad Gable. But I knew that after Kevin Owens drove off after that bullshit ass interview with Michael, that he was going to show back up, and he definitely did. Stepped on Cody's ankle and started stomping the shit out of him. Cody was able to get up and fight back. Nick Aldis and the producers and the refs were coming down there to split them up, to keep them from fighting, but it kept going down. They fought until the credits rolled on that show. It was gnarly, okay? It was a gnarly time. But I will say this, Chad Gable did exceptionally well in that match. And quite frankly, and I know I shouldn't say this, but I want to say this. Chad Gable next year should be your Intercontinental Champion. If he is not Intercontinental Champion, if he makes his way to Smackdown with American Made, he most definitely should be your next United States Champion. And I say that with my whole chest because Chad Gable has proven time and time again that he is more than capable of anchoring as a heel in any situation that is possible. And the matches that he will have will be top tier. They'll be 100% nothing but quality. So I will stand by that statement till the day I die. And I would prefer if Chad Gable was champion. I'm going to bitch and scream and holler about it all day long. But outside of kayfabe, he definitely deserves to be a singles champion. And while they have the opportunity, they definitely need to give it to him. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is SmackDown. Let's talk about the trade portal. Let's talk about it. First, let me get these comments out the way. Okay, I read those. I hope Chelsea wins this tournament. She needs to win a singles title in the company. I prefer Michin to win. But if Chelsea wins, I won't be mad about that either. Chad Gable should have been an Intercontinental Champion last year. Chad Gable wins the U.S. title, would be American Made. Chad Gable with the U.S. title would be American Made. Get it? Yes, I get it. That's so, it's the silliest shit, but I got it. Like, it's American Made. You get it? You get it? Yes, I got it. So let's talk about the trade portal. According to Michael Cole, the trade portal is set up for all three brands. It's not just Raw and SmackDown. It is everybody. So you will see talent being walking around backstage that technically shouldn't be back there. If you watch SmackDown, you saw Nick Aldis talking to Dominic Mysterio today. You saw Gunther, and you saw a few other people walking around backstage that normally would not be there if the trade portal was not open. So this coming Raw, you're probably going to end up seeing a lot of SmackDown people walking around backstage, possibly Chelsea and Piper. You know Adam can't stand Chelsea. But you might see Apollo Crews popping up over there. You might see Cedric Alexander from NXT. Lash and Jakara might be walking around. Because the trade portal is open and they're having conversations due to the fact that they're going to Netflix in 2025 on January 6th. There's a lot of conversation about giving everybody a new look and revamping the shows. And because of these new shifts and everything that's happening, SmackDown's going to 3 hours next year. Raw is going back to 3 hours. NXT is staying at 2. There could be some momentum shifts in where everybody ends up with this trade. Now, because they're doing this trade so openly and so early, what I was curious about was when they do the draft, they're trading people before the draft. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, it doesn't make sense to me unless they've moved the draft to around the time when they do the season premiere, which is what I've been begging for them to do for years. Because I feel like while April is usually the end of the year for them, right? That's when everything should reset. The reset should come when they do sweeps. You feel what I'm saying? Their season premieres, that should be their draft time. That's when they should be drafting. Everything should be reset. And then we should be moving into the new page, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm hoping that next year that's what we get. Because to me, SummerSlam is your end all be all of whatever feuds are left over after Mania. That should be the end of those. And then they should be working into moving into, the next phase. So we're going to see where people end up, but it's very interesting, this trade portal that they have. That means that a lot of people are going to be shifting and running through Raw, NXT, and SmackDown. And I'm very curious as to where people end up. Because like I have said, Lash Legend is a superstar. She should be on SmackDown. I want to see her on SmackDown. Jakara can come with her. I'm fine with that. I also want to pull from NXT. Gallus needs to come up. Gallus needs to come up, and they need to go to Raw to strengthen that tag team division in Raw. Who else do I want to come back up? If they're not going to give Jada Parker a shot at that championship, pull her up. Jada Parker needs to be sent to Raw. They need the space. They need the girls over on Raw. Raw's women's division is not as strong as people thought it was. It's really not. If Roxanne wasn't champion, I would pull her over to Raw as well. I think Roxanne has outgrown NXT, and she should definitely be pulled over to Monday Night Raw. They need Roxanne on Raw. She can stay as her current heel character. Pull Cora over as well. Cora's great as a heel. She's excellent in the ring. She's gotten better even in her time off. She's gotten much better. Pull Cora over as well. You can move Cora. Cora will do just fine no matter where she goes. Raw, SmackDown, doesn't matter. And who else on the girls would I pull out of there? I would pull Soul out too. I would pull Soul out too. I would pull Soul out and put Soul over on SmackDown and let her have her moment. Kaylani can come over as well. I don't think, well, you know what? Let Kaylani stay. JC Jane, Fallon, get your asses out of there. Fallon would be moved over to SmackDown. I put JC Jane over on Raw. I would only leave Gigi in NXT for a little while, maybe to hold that United States champion with American Championship for a little while, and then I would pull her up as well. I just need my women's division to be a little bit more stacked and flushed out, especially with them having these mid-card titles now and the tag team titles. We need to get that division blown out. The NXT girls will replenish with the girls that are coming in from the next in line and from the WWE ID program. Those girls will come in and fill in the spaces that are open. As far as the men are concerned, like I said, Gallus needs to go. You need to send... Who else is on that roster right now? If Trick Williams wasn't champion, I'd pull him over immediately. Ethan Page needs to come up. There's nothing else for Ethan Page to do in NXT except for get the North American Championship, which, to be fair, he doesn't have to get it. He's already been NXT champion. He doesn't need that. Ethan Page will excel on that main roster, especially on Raw. I would pull Ethan Page over immediately. Who else? In the singles division, I would leave Javon Evans down there. I would let Wesley stay down there just so he can get that NXT championship. I would let Cedric stay as long as he wants to stay. If they're not going to use him properly, then he shouldn't come up, in my opinion. What else? Who else? I'm trying to think, y'all. I'm trying to think fast. I can't think of nobody. But y'all tell me in the comments. Y'all usually voice your opinions. So if you're listening to this in the playback and you have an idea of who can come up, especially from NXT, then let me know in the comments and I will respond accordingly. But I remember Rickster earlier tonight said that the Street Profits should go over to Raw. And the only problem I have with that is Bianca might not be able to move over there. But seeing as how she's tag team champion, she could. So you may have something going right there, boy. Playboy. Ouch. Oh, child. Anyways, let's get into it. Let me see the comments. I heard that Raw would be family PG-14 on Netflix. That's what I heard. Who knows? Gallus on top. I'm with it. Roxy should be in the main roster. She's done a fantastic job as a heel. Ridge Holland should be NXT champion if Trick Williams is going to the main roster. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I will spit bullets if Trick Williams is going to lose that title to Ridge Holland. Ridge Holland is boring. I don't care what anyone says. He does not pique my interest as a competitor. He's fine. Heel wise, he's boring. At least to me. And if I was Andre chasing him, since he took something from me, I would definitely take something from him. But that's just me. I'm petty. So to look at the Saturday night main event card before I get out of here, let me show y'all. Right now, Io Sky is facing off against Liv Morgan for her women's championship. And then you've got Gunther facing off against Finn for his world championship. And then you have Cody Rhodes facing off against Kevin for his world championship. But that is next Saturday. Tomorrow is NXT Deadline, and it is in Minneapolis, which is interesting. They're in Minneapolis right now. You know what I'm saying? So it's very interesting that SmackDown shows up in Minneapolis, and NXT was in Minneapolis, but there was no NXT people on the show today. Interesting. Very interesting. I don't know, y'all. It's so interesting. But anyways, he said, damn. But hopefully in time he will mature. He would be a dominant champion if given the chance, of course. Me personally, dominant champions don't strike my fancy. And it's because they don't have the same trial by fire that somebody else would. Like, they get put in situations and it instantly looks like they're going to win. And to me, that's not fun to watch. I do like watching a big man match, a match between Braun Strowman and Bronson Reed, or a match between a big man who's agile like Bronson Reed and possibly Seth, because there's a little bit more nuance to that. You don't know how that's going to play out. You're very, very focused on who could win. You know what I'm saying? It's a funner time. I just don't want to watch Ridge. His dominance means nothing to me when it comes to storytelling and his ability to hold that championship and actually do it without trying to maim and injure people. Like, I get that's the shtick. I understand that. Brock Lesnar had it too. But he was bored as hell too, which is why he had somebody like Paul Heyman doing all his talking for him. You feel what I'm saying? Paul Heyman was the entertainment. Brock Lesnar was just a meathead. So is fucking Ridge. He thinks he's being scary and dark and brooding, but he's really just boring. Isn't Finn doing double duty for Saturday Night Main Event? Yes, but they haven't announced who his opponent is going to be, and they haven't made it official yet. It doesn't happen until Monday. Who's going to replace Eddie Thorpe on Deadline? They didn't say. They didn't even say if he was going to be replaced, but it seemed like somebody from the higher ups or somebody big took him out. Somebody like Roman or the Usos or even The Rock himself. When they saw that girl on the floor, they came running. But anyways, Deadline has several matches on the card ready to roll. Their match card is already booked out, and it doesn't seem like they're adding anything new. For right now, the NXT Men's Championship is on the line with Trick Williams versus Ridge Holland. And we have the tag team titles being defended by Nathan Frazier and Axiom against the No Quarter Catch crew. And Axiom is going to be pulling double duty, which I will get to in a second. But we also have an NXT Underground match between Lola Vice and Jada Parker. Now, the men's match, which I'll get to now, do that now. Nathan Frazier is also competing in the men's match for the Deadline Iron Survivor Challenge. Now, if they put the men's match up first, because it seems like the women's match is going to be the closer, they seem to be more focused on the women's division, with Roxanne being the longest reigning champion right now. So I would imagine the men's match is going to go first, which means Nathan Frazier is going to be gassed in that match for the tag team titles, unless they put those tag team titles up first. And Axiom could very easily blame Frazier for tanking this match and helping them lose the tag team titles for him to be able to have a better shot at this opportunity in the Iron Survivor. It's a lot of storytelling that can happen with Nathan Frazier competing in 2 matches in one night. All right. And then we have the final match, which is the women's match for Deadline. All 5 women are healthy and ready to roll. Last we saw, Ren Sinclair was holding up the championship, and Roxanne Perez was on the ground writhing in pain, while the other 4 girls were beating the hell out of each other in the ring. So this could go either way. Any one of these 5 could win in this Deadline Iron Survivor match. I'm going to say right now that my pick is going to be Stephanie. I feel like Stephanie is going to earn the right to go up against Roxanne, but nobody's really won the title when they challenge with the Iron Survivor Challenge. They usually lose, and then they win the title later. The Iron Survivor Challenge usually doesn't grant you the title, but what it does is give you a telltale sign that at some point they will be champion. It happened with Roxanne. It happened with Trick Williams. And it's more than likely going to happen with whoever wins for the men and whoever wins for the women. I hope no quarter catch crew wins the title. You and me both, babe. I'm really tired of Nathan and Axiom, and not because they're not great champions, but because of the back and forth, the bullshit, the constantly competing in singles matches and opportunities. It's just like, y'all are tag team champions. What are you doing? You are taking slots away from people who rightfully deserve it. Like, to be fair, you could easily swap out Frazier for Cedric Alexander. Just saying. So no shade to Frazier. I know he's going to show up and show out, but he already has a championship. He shouldn't be competing for an opportunity at another title. This is exactly what I was talking about with Stratton. You already have something that everybody else is clamoring for. Why are you wasting your time with this? And I know that it's a big opportunity, but first drop the titles, then go after that. Probably Axiom might turn heel soon. To be fair, I wouldn't fucking blame him. Nathan isn't paying attention to them maintaining the titles. And to be fair, he's been doing that for the last 6 months that they've been champion. He has been doing that, not paying attention, not giving Axiom his all, doing this extra shit, joining into these speed champions, ignoring him when he's talking to them about strategy, when they're getting ready to go out there and compete, and just being an all-around a-hole. So I would most definitely turn heel on him in a heartbeat. Because a lot of the matches they have been having is because Nathan Frazier don't know how to keep his mouth shut. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give y'all my predictions for these matches, and I'm going to make it simple. I think Wesley is going to win the Iron Survivor Challenge. I don't care who enters in Eddie Thorpe's place. My pick is going to be Wesley. Like I said, any one of these women could win this, but I'm going to give it to Stephanie. And then I think that the No Catch Quarter Crew is going to win for the tag team titles. I think Lola Vice is going to beat Jada Parker. And I hope and pray that Trick Williams beats Ridge Holland, because if Ridge Holland wins, it's just going to justify all his actions leading up to this. And I really don't want to see that. Nathan doesn't know how to be a partner. No. Agreed. So, with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope tomorrow that you watch NXT. I will go live after NXT. I go live after NXT every single time. I go live after the PLEs. So, if you're new here and you don't know, I do go live. We also have a membership. There is a membership you can join, and I will have exclusive membership content next year. We're going to have some new videos up. I'm going to be reading the books and doing like a full breakdown of some of the wrestlers' books. And you guys will get like 2 or 3 videos a month for the members. The memberships are super, super low. It's 99 cents for the tourist tier, $2.99 for the citizen tier. And as I gain more members, the perks in the memberships will change. You guys can decide what I put out for that week. If I can put out certain videos of the assessment of some of these superstars' books, you will decide which videos go out. If you guys want the whole subscriber list to see everything, we'll put everything out. If not, then that stuff will stay exclusive for you guys. And once I hit 10 full members, we will do members only lives where I will talk to you guys exclusively, and we just gonna vibe and put it all together. It's gonna be a good time. Okay. But next year we're gonna have some stuff coming out. I talked to my husband, he's gonna help me put together some stuff for y'all. I got some really cool ideas. Some of y'all, I have a lot of women who follow me, I have a lot of dudes who follow me. So just to give y'all a little sneak peek into some of the stuff we're going to be doing, we're going to be doing some cooking stuff because I love to cook. If you've been around me long enough on this channel, you know that I love to cook. So we're going to have some cooking segments that's going to be live exclusives. We're going to be cooking out of like this WWE cookbook that I have. I'm going to buy JR's cookbook. We're going to try some of his recipes. And of course, I'm going to put my own little spin on it. And I have a segment that I am going to do that I'm going to keep under the hush hush so nobody steals it. And I'm going to be cooking recipes. And I want y'all to see the process of it. And then we're going to sit down and we're going to mukbang it and see if there's worth the hype. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to explain all that stuff later in a later members only video. We're also going to have some makeup and wrestling stuff where I talk about some of my favorite wrestlers, and I'm going to recreate some of their makeup, some of my favorite makeup that some of the female wrestlers have worn, and some male wrestlers. I may do even the face paint, try to see if I can recreate some of the face paint, but that shit is intricate. I'm not that good of an artist, but we're going to do that. We're going to be taking part in some of the brands that some of these wrestlers have been pushing, their alcohols. We're going to test all that stuff out on the channel, and that's going to be members only stuff. We're going to read all of the books of some of the wrestlers. I've got Becky's book, Drew's book, the Bellas. I believe I have Daniel Bryan's book. I think I have Jericho's book. And I'm going to take the time, and we're going to start with Becky's. We're going to read 5 chapters of video. I'm going to analyze them and break them down and talk about them. And we'll have a full video up, and it'll be podcast style for that stuff. So you can just listen and you don't have to worry about trying to play videos. What do you want? Junior, just go. So we're going to have all that stuff coming to y'all next year, and it's going to be a lot. I'm going to make sure I post everything. I have a schedule set up. It's going to be a fun time. So if you want to be a part of that or to see that content, then I promise you're going to have to join the membership, because the members will decide what videos get released and what videos don't. The members may decide that the makeup videos are all that get released. They may decide that none of the book stuff gets released. And we can do like a little book club where I do a little live and I talk to you guys about it. But the guys in the memberships pay. So they will make a decision as to what you can see as a subscriber outside of my regular lives. We go live at least 3 times a week over here. So if you want to be a part of that, you definitely can. And that's free 99. Okay. You don't have to worry about paying for that. Just be a subscriber, share the channel, and everybody can be happy. Okay. Sometimes, I'll be honest, I don't go live every week. Sometimes I'm sick or I'm just not in the best of moods. So I don't go live, but I will put up a video to make sure that you guys get the recap, and I will go about my business. Now, if I don't, I'm really not feeling well. That's the only time you won't get a video from me if I'm sick. So if I'm not up, I'm sick. You can also follow me on Instagram. It's scrolling down here at the bottom. You can see all the stuff up there. I think I put the right banner up. Did I put the right banner up? I did. Y'all can follow me over on Instagram. All of that stuff is in the bottom. Podcast stuff is up there as well. There's a new podcast up. You guys can listen to those podcasts. Midwest Melody and Mafia is up. And there's a reload of an older episode of the podcast. You're more than welcome to listen to that if you want to. You don't have to. But You guys go over to that podcast. That's where the wrestling podcast is. And of course, I also have my other podcast, which me and the Hubs are getting ready to do after this. And we're going to be talking about everything from Kendrick Lamar to the Billboard Music Awards top 10 female rappers of 2024. We're going to be talking about the pop stars of the 21st century. We're going to talk about all of this stuff on the other podcast. So I'm talking so much, I'm losing my voice. Y'all sign up for the membership here, and that's where you get all your wrestling exclusive content for me. First tier is a tourist tier. It's 99 cents. Very, very cheap. I don't want to charge y'all more than that because I'm just putting out content. I don't feel like you should have to pay an arm and a leg for decent content, okay? I'm just going to be me, doing me, and being myself. I may do some vlogging every now and then. If we decide to do something crazy one week, you might get a bonus video here or there. But y'all, I'm getting ready to set the schedule up, and we're going to put some stuff out. The citizenship tier is $2.99, so it's not bigger than that. And you also will get a discount on the merch. The bigger your membership, the bigger your discount. In order for you to see your discount, you got to pick a membership. So please do yourself a favor. Sign up for the membership so you can be here bright and early when the new stuff drops. I will make sure that I will drop them on off days where I don't post so you can low-key get a little bit of a break. You're not bombarded with notification after notification. Now, I've given you a lot of information, a lot of stuff to process. So I'm going to get my ass out of here, and I will see you guys next time. The links to everything you need is on the community tab. Join the membership and you can find it. You will also find the links to the fourth wall if you want to purchase the merch. I will see you guys tomorrow after NXT deadline, and we'll talk some more about wrestling. Bye.
If you don't want to see me, if you don't want to see me, did a full 180, crazy, thinking about the way I was. Did the heartbreak change me, baby? But look at where I ended up. I'm okay already.